Let's take a look at where these kids have all come from. And you see Ohio produces the most, but Jerry, Florida is there with the second most kids. What do you make of these numbers?
Well, here's what the numbers tell us. Going into today, there was probably going to be 160 Big Ten players signed from the Big Ten footprint. There was going to be another 80 from the SEC footprint. And that's what these numbers tell me, that the SEC has become almost one of the extension of the Big Ten. You take Nebraska, they were predicted to sign 17 players from the SEC footprint. I'm not sure how it worked out. We're going to have to wait and see. Purdue's the other team that signed or was predicted to sign more players from the SEC footprint than the Big Ten footprint. So those numbers tell us about the population has moved towards the Sun Belt and recruiting has to move towards the Sun Belt.
Let's take a second and recap the entire day. We've now gone through all 14 schools, looked at some of the best players who are coming. If you look back at last year on signing day, we were talking about kids like Christian Hackenberg, who, oh no big deal, had 4 300-yard passing games as a freshman. Corey Clement of Wisconsin, who had 300-yard games as the third option. You had Joey Bosa for 7.5 sacks as a true freshman. Michael Geiger, 15 of 16 field goals. Who are the impact players from this signing day that could be making a mark as soon as this fall?
Well, for the first guy, I'm going to take a little bit of a layup and go with Jabril Peppers. That's an easy one. Too talented to keep off the field. Michigan can use the help in the secondary, and that kid is going to, I think, just be too good for them not to play. Same thing with Eric Smith at Ohio State. Coach Meyer mentioned he has to play this year. His instincts and his background coming from Cleveland, Glenville are going to help him play right away. And then a little bit of a wild card, I'm going to go with Illinois. They've got a few JUCO guys. I think Jihad Ward is definitely going to play for them next year.
Howard, the biggest takeaway you have from this 2014 signing day?
Mike, I think ultimately the teams were able to sign and recruit the guys that they were able to. And again, as I said in my opening comments earlier, it's now about being able to develop the talent that's there. Some guys that were 2 stars that probably will end up being starters for 2 and 3 years, but for some of these programs have to be able to develop them. I think that's what it comes down to. It's about the coaching, it's about the scheme, putting people in the right position to be successful.
Really big day, but really a big day for who? There's only 4 coaches in the Big Ten right now that have recruited their entire roster. Bo Pelini, Mark D'Antonio, Kurt Ferentz, and Pat Fitzgerald. The other teams have to give their coaches 4 and 5 years to develop their roster. Otherwise, the attrition is going to continue.
Countdown is on till August 28th when the Big Ten has a new era. Rutgers and Maryland join, and football begins yet again.